one of you the host as well? Okay.
Up.
So we have started live, but 1 minute. I'll go to the speaker mode. And a very warm welcome to everybody to Inspiring Indian Women platform. And we have today with us, indeed, we are privileged to have with us the guests, the famous, the multi-talented Srimati Vidushi Swati Natekar. She needs no introduction, but still I will do my duty to let everybody know all her achievements as what she is and what she has done. And we just can't believe that we have such a distinguished personality with us today. So Srimati Swati Natekar, for her, she is one of the most respected and voices in Indian music in the UK. She's the voice behind hit songs like Nadia, nominated for the highest musical Mercury Award with Nitin Sawhney, Khwab with Neeraj Chagg, and Jakarta American Dream, which was running third in UK main charts. She's the daughter and disciple of renowned Hindustani classical academic and scholar late Vidushi, Dr. Srimati Sushila, and scholar late Vidushi, Dr. Srimati Sushila Pohankar ji. Currently, she is receiving guidance from her elder brother and eminent vocalist Pandit Ajay Pohankar. She's UK-based Indian classical ghazal and world music singer. Let me just put her on spotlight first. While I talk about her, she needs to be on spotlight. There she goes. Yes. So that's Srimati Swati Natekar for you. So she's UK-based Indian classical ghazal, world music singer, songwriter, and composer who is also known for her collaborations with Ustad Zakir Hussain, Nitin Sawhney, Talvin Singh, Craig Armstrong, Sonu Nigam, and Muzaffar Ali. And Swati ji has released several acclaimed albums and has performed at reputed international venues. Swati's voice also features on a Hollywood Warner Brothers movie, The In-Laws and the Republic of Love, directed by Deepa Mehta. In her musical career spanning over 40 years and having featured over 25 albums, so far Swati ji has also released her own ghazal albums, Thanak, Introduction by Ustad Ghulam Ali, Anjuman, a fusion album, Destiny Chakra, and a Thumri album, Anurag. Swati ji's collaborations as well as her own shows has given her the opportunity to perform live at many prestigious venues in UK. Requesting everybody to please mute yourself. Kindly mute yourself. Yes. Okay. Moving on further, she has also recorded and composed and sung a track from the famous Geet Govind couplet for the Queen's Gallery at Buckingham Palace, London. It has also been an honor for Swati ji to represent UK and record the bhajan Vaishnavajan for the celebration of 150th year of Gandhi ji Jayanti, for which Swati ji received a letter of appreciation from the then External Affairs Minister, late Srimati Sushma Swaraj ji. So that is our Vidushi Srimati Swati Natekar in front of us. Welcome, very warm welcome, Swati ji. We are indeed privileged to have you. And now I'm going to introduce the host for today's session, today's show. I'm just adding the spotlight there. And none other than Ashwini Kalsekar. Ashwini has been part of key projects of the Arts Council of England, like the Big Bed Dance. Ashwini played, I request everybody please mute yourself. There's some sound coming. She has been part of key projects of the Arts Council of England, like the Big Bed Dance, and played a key role for Heritage Lottery funded projects in B&A and the Story of Shiva. Her performances have been applauded internationally. Her recent ACE supported R&D Mahadev
The journey of Shiva was very well received by the British audiences. As a home tutor and designated mentor on Dance Exchange Yuvagati program for 2016 and 2018, Ashwini ji is taking a step towards making a mark by creating good Kathak performers. Her recent production in Women and War Festival, the name is She the Shakti, received several accolades. Colors of India, Kathak Natyam, Jukebox are few of her choreographies got her an international attention. She has successively performed at Oslo and Ireland film festivals. In India, she has performed at Konark Festival, Pandit Kalka Bindadin Festival and Pandit Gopi Krishna Jayanti Mahotsav, Hemantika Festival UK, Samarpan and Wolverhampton Arena. Ashwini comes from distinguished family of artists in India. Guru Rekha Nadgoda, her mother, Pandita Sharma Bhate, groomed her to be an exponent of classical performing arts and acquired master's degree in Kathak. She believes in spawning Kathak performers with appreciation towards classical dance styles. So that is Ashwini Kalsekar for us in front of Inspiring Indian Women platform. Over to you, Ashwini, and let us hear about the inspirational journey of Vidushi Srimati Swati Natekar. Over to you.
Yes.
Rashmi ji,
Thank you so much, Rashmi.
before that, can I come in, please? Can you mute others apart from
Yeah.
me and Ashwini, please?
Sure. I'll just do that. Okay.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, Rashmi. So, welcome, Swati Tai. I appreciate, Rashmi, you created this wonderful platform for IIW where we can discuss and understand amazing journeys of amazing artists. And we are starting our first episode with Vidushi Swatite Natikar. Swatite, you are born in a family where your mother, Vidushi Sushlatai Pohankarji, was your guru as well as mother. So there must be a kind of pressure on you all the time that you need to fulfill some expectations. So, uh, how did you manage that pressure of expectations from the society when you come from a musical family or musical background?
Very good question. First of all, many thanks to Ashwini and Rashmi ji for having me here on such a wonderful platform of IIW. You guys are doing amazing work there. Now coming to this question, lovely question, I must say. Actually, I never felt any pressure, to be honest. You know why? Because we were born and brought up in very, Guru Shishya Parampara. Pressure comes, that stage comes when you are, trying to prove yourself. Whereas I never had any rush because of my background. We none of us were in hurry for anything. So all we knew was just learn, and be good at your art. And which we know, like this process goes until the last breath of your life. So it's never ending. So you just think about yourself, how you can be better. If you have that aim, then you have no pressure. Secondly, we in our family, everybody is very musical, very talented, right from my father, actually he learned music from Pandit Ratan Chand Karji, very famous musicologist. So he especially went to Lucknow and learned under him in Maris Music College. My mother, she had her background definitely because her parents were into music as well, and she was extraordinary right from young age. I have my elder brother Pandit Ajay Pohankarji, who is now currently guiding me as well, and second brother Sudhir. So he hasn't been into music field. My mom specially kept him away so that there will not be any rivalry between two brothers. So but he's also extremely talented. He sings beautifully, he composes beautifully. So extraordinary. He is also there. Then, his son, Ajayji's son, Abhijit, Paritosh Pohankar, these two nephews of mine, they are really doing very good work. So our whole family is there. My bhabhi is, my bhabhi sings. So everybody is musical. So our competition started from home, to be honest, if we decided to think
Yeah.
that way. So it was just common thing, just sing. And whatever you want to sing, sing freely and learn quite a lot.
Yeah.
This is how my journey started. So actually there was no pressure, but yeah, today I feel more responsibility, because when I'm performing, I have a name behind me,
Yeah.
Swati Pohankar Natekar. So I have to be, careful there. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, brilliant. So, Swatitai, whatever I've heard about sociology from you, definitely a scholar and academic in music industry, and she composed n number of beautiful things for Indian classical world.
Yeah.
So I remember recently you have started this series on YouTube and Facebook where you are posting her beautiful compositions. And
Yeah.
when it comes to it, Surmohi was one of the beautiful albums you created long time
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And while creating that, you were hiring different artists to come and sing your mother's composition, who have, as you know, gharana. We have different
Yes.
gharanas.
Yes.
So, what sort of challenge and what sort of amazing things happened when you created Surmohi? And if you can let us know, as well as sing a few things from Surmohi, the composition of Sociology for all of us, I think that will be really amazing.
Sure. Basically, I'll tell you something. My mother, she had very tough journey in her life. So I'll come to that point very soon. But just to give you a brief idea about that is, she was extremely talented when she got married to my father. Her singing, being a singer, was a very special point between, and that bond between them because of the music was there. But at the same time, she was not allowed to perform outside because my father was son of a zamindar, landlord. So there was a parampara not to let go women out and perform. So obviously my father had to, with heavy heart, say this to my mother. And then obviously, it was like someone took your oxygen away from you. It was like that. But she never stopped there. But then she started training my brother and others as well. But what happened in all this, because she was not being a performer later on, so not too many people knew her apart from artists who used to come and stay with us, because she used to organize concerts also. She was very, very well respected in music field. But for general people, they didn't see her performing. See, she used to maximum, she used to perform on radio regularly.
Oh, okay.
But apart from that, there were no public performances. So just before she, passed away, I really was feeling very, feeling bad about her, that she should have got more recognition as herself, rather than guru of my brother or anybody. So that's what made me think about coming out with this CD of Surmohi. And I selected few compositions, beautiful compositions of hers. And I thought about each composition, because every composition had very different style. So I just thought, oh, this will suit nicely in Ashwini Bhide's voice, and this will suit in very well with um, who is that? पुण्याचा पुण्याचे आर्टिस्ट आहेत ते. Oh. So Sanjeev Abhyankar.
Sanju, yeah, Sanju Dada,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I asked him also. They all happily, said yes, and it was really great to have all these artists there. Then couple of compositions were sung beautifully by my brother also, which were in Rag Malkons. So this is how I thought of bringing out the album. Unfortunately, when the album got released, she was no more. But I had a good fortune to play the whole album before she passed away. I
Oh.
took her to the studio and she heard the whole album. So she was extremely happy and she gave me lots of blessings, saying that,
Yeah.
you know, only you could have done this, which was a big thing for me. I got everything through that. So after that, you know, recently, as you would have noticed that, you know, I have come up with Surmohi series on YouTube also, because recently there was some confusion about one particular bandish of Rag Rageshri. Some people were thinking it was composed by someone else because that person taught that bandish to his students. And that made me think, you know, that luckily the lady checked with me, and that's why I thought I have to do something. I have to bring it on a public platform somewhere. And then it gave me thought of creating a Surmohi series of her bandishes. So there I'm not going to prove myself as an artist, because the focus will be completely on my mother as a composer and her beautiful compositions and how wonderfully they go playing around with the tal. So
Yeah.
that is what I have tried there. Anyway, I will sing one composition from Surmohi album.
Please.
This is in Rag Megh, Ghana Gagana Ghana Garache Barse. As I said, Sanjeev Abhyankar ji has
Atmosphere
sung.
also, we had a nice
Yeah,
rain.
I know. Just like India, we are also having like monsoon kind of weather
Absolutely.
today. So yeah. Sorry. घन गगन घन गरज बरसे घन गगन घन गरज बरसे घन गगन घन गरज बरसे सावन की आई सांझ सावन की आई सांझ घन गगन घन गरज बरसे घन गगन घन गरज बरसे घन गगन घन गरज घन गगन घन गरज बरसे घन गगन घन गरज बरसे घन गगन घन गरज बरसे
الطبلة تنقم لكم بالبوتي الطبلة تنقم لكم بالبوتي الطبلة تنقم لكم بالبوتي It looks like that.
Yeah, bad. Wonderful, wonderful.
Thank you.
Just very much soul kind of soul
I
singing,
cannot
I
hear
can
you
say.
enough.
Beautiful.
I don't know.
Can you hear me, Swati?
Just a minute. Huh. Can you speak?
Brilliant. So while talking about Surmohi, you mentioned about Guru Shishya Parampara. And, that is one thing which all Indian classical art forms carry with them with quite a lot of pride, Guru Shishya Parampara.
Yes.
But nowadays in young generation, definitely they find it bit of a burden to be in that parampara, or they have different perspective towards this Guru Shishya Parampara. So what do you think we can bring a change in our art industry where young people get more and more attracted to classical music, not thinking that there has to be a difficult relationship, or we have to follow certain rules of Guru Shishya Parampara, or any other sort? What do you think we can bring a change, and we can make sure that more and more young people will get attracted to classical music?
Yeah, there are a couple of points I would like to mention here. First of all, there is no quick fix. The younger generation has to know. Problem is the way we are served, through TV channels, reality shows. It looks really attractive, and everybody starts dreaming, oh, if this person, very mediocre singer, could reach up to this level, I can also reach there. So problem is, we need to know that at least you need 15 years to become a good student, first of all. Then your journey starts as a good student. And when it comes to start to perform, you need 25 years, I should say. That is what I feel. And if you rush, yes, fine, you will go, with through a lot of PR you will get the opportunities. Problem is, you need to prove yourself as well. because I never rushed, so I know what it means. When I went to for my recordings here, with even Western producers or Indian producers, 99% of the time I composed songs then and there, means lyrics and melody both within 10 to 15 minutes. Okay. Now, unless I had that background and I had done that sadhana all these years, I wouldn't have been able to do so. And then when you sing, see, main point is, if if I prepare my students to exactly copy Lataji's songs, Ashaji's songs, after a few years they will be able to do that, but their knowledge will be limited to that song only. If I give them fresh melody, will they be able to do justice with that? No, because they don't know what goes in. That's the beauty, because I grew up reading stories about Lataji, Ashaji also. So I had read in magazines in those times that they would give completely a new twist to the melody, and that is what is called sadhana all these years. Then only you have that vision that this will go well. Even one of the songs which I did for with Muzaffar Ali ji, that tune was very simple, and when I recorded Kabhi Unke Milan Ki, so before that I was worried, that I thought I need to leave some spark there, my own spark. What do I do? And then I thought, Lataji, Ashaji used to do this, so why can't I do this? And I gave lots of touches there, and they worked really well. But this is why you have to be an accomplished singer before you enter the stage, to be honest. At least you have to have certain standard. With new generation, the problem is they see all that chakachand, glamour around these singers and reality show singers, and they think anybody can achieve this. This is not right. Then bringing them towards classical, obviously lots of people are scared of classical. They think that it's really hard to understand. I remember when I was growing up in Jabalpur, so my all my friends were like non-musical typically, so we used to play together, and they used to say वो तुम्हारा वो आ वाला गाना कुछ समझ में नहीं आता. So that is the general problem with people, because they are too scared to even try and understand. But lots of film songs are based upon classical, so they don't know that classical is hidden there. Another beautiful form is fusion, to bring young generation closer to classical. But there are very few good fusion artists. This is the reality, and sadness, like I feel sad about it, because they just think one drum, one tabla, and one piano, and one singer doing kalakari, like fast tans and sargams. Okay, fusion done. No, it's not like that. Fusion has its own atma, and there is has to be a balance between everything. And you don't fight on the stage, but you give space to others also. You create beautiful moments and then give space to others to come in. That is not there. Very few good fusion artists are there worldwide, I'm saying. So, but yes, there has been some good work being done, like even with Nitin Sawhney. I saw the other side in Western world here, what they appreciate, and they appreciate our music. So it's sad, like I have performed for even I will say Citadela Festival in Paris, all night concert. And sang Tumri there, and people were listening with pin drop silence whole night. I tell you, not just me, but whoever performed, there was so much discipline. So we need to understand that good music cuts across, because with Nitin also, I used to do this track called Beyond Skin, where I was just doing merely some alaps and he was playing guitar chords. And I was first time, I'll be honest with you, I thought people will hoot me, because I thought they will not understand what I'm doing. These are like French audience, because again we were performing in France, for 4,000 people. And I thought they will not understand Indian music. I was so wrong, because these things have taught me that music has power to cut through, like whatever language you sing in. And we enjoy other music also, which has got other languages. Even put a beautiful Bengali song will say wow. So music has power, but for youngsters, it's important to know that this is a long process. It's not short journey, overnight journey, and one has to be disciplined. And there is nothing really big thing, that, oh, this is classical, must be too heavy. No, if you try and understand, you will see the nuances. It takes time. Light is very easy, quickly you see the results. But previously, in 70s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 70s and 80s especially, the standard was so good even for film songs. So they used lots of Indian rags also, we know, like.
Yeah, coming to that point itself, I remember you were recording for one of your soundtracks, and Biddu saw you singing, and he said, "Nee, nee, Swatiji, you have to work with me." And then you worked for HMV's Farebi with him. Then there was no limit. Sonu Nigam with Sonu Nigam in Kismat, with Muzaffar Ali in Pegame Mohabbat. You did quite a lot of Bollywood numbers in spite of being a classical artist.
Yeah.
And I think you did it in such a grace that there was no criticism, or people never judged you that, oh, you're a classical artist and still you're doing a film, or light music. Because whatever I know you, you are not kind of a person or an artist who will keep yourself into one format. You like to keep on exploring and do something different. So what you would like to tell our audiences about classical singing and Bollywood singing, and what are the basic roots for both singing? Because whatever I understand is, our classical art is the base of each and every singing or art we are doing, but they need to know it from a person like you, academic person like you, so they will say, yes, we got it.
Okay. See, I will say, obviously classical is a great art. So to be able to sing classical is something special. At the same time, there is a misconception. Sorry, I belong to musical khandan, but I differ here. I feel, because I have my own ideas, you see, and I have been singing light music from, I should say, at the age of 15. So I started regularly being radio artist from age 16. So I have done a lot of light music, and then obviously we had classical in the house, and I started singing classical later on. But I knew all the bandishes of my mom since the age of 5. I could play tabla and sing all her bandishes. But main thing is, because my mother was not against anything, she used to sing beautiful thumris, and that opened the whole avenue for us. We were not just limited to classical only. But coming back to your point, I personally feel there is a big misconception that unless you learn classical, you can't learn anything. And basically that's fine, but once you learn classical, you can sing anything. That is completely not right, I should say, because the techniques used in light music and classical is completely different. The voice technique, the voice, you project your voice out, whereas in light music, you don't sing just loudly, but you have to keep it very flexible to be able to do harkats. So in classical, ah, ah, so ah, like I'm singing this song, okay? In light music, ah, this is harkat. So the voice using technique is completely different. So you need to learn classical. That creates a good base for you, good understanding for each every swar plus rags. And plus you should, if it's like, if you want to become a doctor in the end, there is no point doing, spending 10 years of engineering degree. You should be focused. So this is how you need to make your path. So if you want to eventually perform light music, you must learn classical as well as light classical, which is thumri. Thumri Dadra, because these have bhav and these have harkats.
The
These don't
expressions,
have
yeah.
expressions and voice technique, harkats. They are not used in classical music. If somebody sings harkats in classical, people will outrightly reject them, saying that ये तो light गा रहा है. So होता है, some singers, they sing, give light touches in classical rags. That is not acceptable. So classical, light is light, and keep them these two separate. So one has to learn classical as well as light classical and light music, because it has its own beauty.
Wow. Amazing. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play the audience one of the very famous tracks of you, just for 1.5 minutes, and we'll come back to the question. This is something I can listen to this song. It is one of my most favorite tracks of you. So, Swatita, I would like you to share the amazing experience of recording Nadia for Nitin Swami for Beyond Scale.
Okay, sure. And after sharing these experiences, I would like to go to previous point. Actually, I wanted to show an example of similar rag being used for classical and light song. Okay, Bollywood. So there was a dance project happening of Sushmita Ghosh in London, and I think this was in 98, probably 1998. So I was invited to perform live and record a Thumri. And I was told that this Thumri will be recorded at Nitin's place. So I was quite happy about it, because I was hearing quite a lot about Nitin. So then, when I went for recording this Thumri, because Sushmita personally requested me that I want you to sing Nadia Berry Bhai, please. So I said, fine. So I had luckily that Thumri in my cassette selection, and then I listened to it a couple of times and I went and recorded. So she wanted a 10 minutes piece. So A to Z, in 10 minutes, I recorded in one go whole piece. Thing is, when I went to Nitin, and we started, doing sound check and all that, and tabla player was sitting there, and I had gone with my Tanpura machine and all that. And then he said, oh, you have got very beautiful voice and I want to have just your voice. I said, how can I sing that? Because for Thumri, I need to have Sawal Jawab with tabla. So I can't really sing like that. I need my Tanpura, I need tabla. He said, okay, I'll give you drone, like, just playing one key, sa, on keyboard. He said, I will record this and you can hear through headphones. I said, okay, just based upon one sa constantly being played by keyboard. Said, okay. And I said, what about tabla? He said, I can, record one loop of tabla Is that okay? I said, no, okay. And I just imagined that if live tabla was there, because the tabla player was going to play tabla later on after I had finished. So I thought, I imagined how we would have had dialogue while performing, recording. And I imagined all that, and with that, like, so Nadiya bari bhai re, this part comes there. Nadiya bari bhai re, Nadiya bari bhai, Nadiya bari रे, नदिया बरी भई, बरी भई, बरी भई. This was towards the end. Like Kari part comes there. And then tabla player, I was told that he couldn't play afterwards. So because he found it very difficult to play over it. Anyway, so then Nitin created this track, but whole track was sung on just one sa and one tabla loop. Similarly, when I recorded Kabhi Unke Milan Ki Aasha Ne, so then they gave me some chords, they recorded same thing, same story. And on click track, I recorded 5 antaras, 5 different antaras in 1.5 hours. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I
Which
think
later
that
on was
is
used in Warner
that-
Brothers movie,
yeah.
The In-Laws.
The talim you have got, I think because of that, it is possible. As you were saying, you were being patient and not in a hurry to reach the
That is true. And plus,
the sadhana, basically.
I'm lucky. I should say not everybody is that lucky. I feel really fortunate that I have my mom's quality where, I can create things then and there, and I'm adaptable. So this is why I could do, and why I could create even Destiny Chakra tracks. Each track I have written is within 10 minutes along with lyrics.
Wow.
So that is this is how I write, between 10 to 15 minutes maximum. If I'm stuck on any word and I'm not happy about it, so I'm thinking about what else can I use here. That's what would take me up to 15 minutes, but not more than that. So this is how I am. And I remember my brother, whenever he had recordings, upcoming recordings, he would come and tell my mom saying that, oh, I need to record tomorrow. And she would say, okay, why don't you sing Charukeshi? And he would say, but where is the bandish? Oh, atta banon dete, like I will make it now. So, and she would prepare, like create bada khayal, chota khayal within minutes, This is how I've seen. So, and it came naturally to me, to be honest, so I'm really blessed that way.
Oh. And we are also blessed that we can hear that every now and then from you. So that's
Thank
so
you.
beautiful. But
So
yes,
I
coming
will
back to our
get
point
back
that
to
Bollywood and classical,
ha,
the same
ha, ha.
treatment in two different ways.
Yes, I will just quickly. Oh, okay. This is Rag Pahadi.
Wow.
This is my mother's composition. Now in this you will see Pahadi means थोड़ा पंजाब style हरकत होते हैं उसमें. classical version of Pahadi. Now I'll sing very well-known song. लग जा गले के फिर ये हंसी रात हो न हो, शायद फिर इस जन्म मुलाकात हो न हो, लग जा गले.
क्या बात है. So Thera in Pahari in both songs, but in their own way. It's so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So after
Sure.
coming to this, I know Swatitai, you are not only kind of a person who is famous in Indian community or Indian atmosphere or internationally. You like you have fans all over world. So I remember the Karachi story where the amazing experience you faced, where artists have no boundaries, art has no boundaries, and how, please share the Karachi experience with all of us, please.
Yeah, I had a performance in Karachi. Our very good friends, they invite, they wanted me to go and perform. So finally everything got sorted and I went there. It was very special feeling, going seaside and looking beyond the sea, thinking Bombay is there. And, it was very, but we have met very lovely people there. We were treated beautifully. We'll never forget that experience. Lovely people. And what happened then, next day to my concert, I went for some shopping. And then I said, I want to buy some, apart from some nice clothings and all that. So I said to the lady host, I said, I would love to buy some CDs from here. So she said, yeah, I will take you to the CD shop. And I went there and I saw Paigam-e Mohabbat and I showed it to her. That I said, look, my song is there. And then I told her about the background, how it
Oh,
went
wow.
to Warner Brothers movie also. So
Super.
yeah, it was very special.
Yes, it is special because what is important is what you're producing in your art. It's not what country or what territory you belong to. So that's so beautiful. So Swatitai, as we were discussing, you learned from your mother, Vidushi Sushilaji, as well as you have got a wonderful and amazing brother, Pandit Ajidada Pohankar. Yeah. I do have fond memories of meeting him in Shamatai's class, where he was
Oh,
giving Jai Jaivanti's bandish to Shamatai, and we were
okay.
practicing, and yeah, it was a beautiful experience being around him. But you're his sister, and you created, both came together, not only as brother and sister, but as guru, bandhu, peers, and artists together, and created Biraha. So
Biraha,
please enlighten us with a bit with Biraha, and if we can hear few things from Biraha, I think the audience will be really happy.
It was Mr. Navras, Mr. Vibhakar Bakshi, the chairman of Navras Records. It was his idea. So he wanted to make an album, do something for me. And, he thought, what better than bringing us two together. So he said to me, I'm going to ask Ajayji if he will be happy to share the album with you. And interestingly, because I am more always inclined, I have been inclined, just like my mother, to, Purabang of Thumri. Whereas he is more into Punjabang. He sings Purabang also beautifully because he is a legendary artist, I should say. But I love singing Purabang Banarsi style. So I have sung 3 Thumris there. And he has sung three tumres which are Punjaban.
Punjabi.
I'll quickly give you some demonstration. I will sing quickly in short. Hmm. जब दिखला जा बाके सवरिया जब दिखला जा दिखला जा ओ बाके सवरिया सावरिया ओ जब दिखला जा
Yeah, amazing.
Thank you.
Lovely. So, Swadhitai, the next question is, as a woman, you have to balance your professional and personal life. Mother of two, their education, concentrating on kids as well as on your career.
Yeah.
It's kind of a, I can say, difficult thing. And many a times women do come and say, oh, I wanted to do that, but I had to do this. That's why, or I had to look at the family. Like I can see Vidushi's Sushila ji is a great example because she was told she cannot go out and perform, but that didn't stop her art. She created Bandesh, she created compositions, and she made it a point. It is reaching out to the people.
Yeah.
So reaching out is very, very important. So how did you manage this professional and personal life? How
It
what
was very
advice?
tough.
I think it's very important for the young generations and career oriented women to understand it.
It was very, very tough. As you yourself are an artist, very good Kathak dancer, so you know exactly. You have a family. So anyway, talking about my own life, it was not easy, and for me, it was a huge change. My career was taking up in Bombay. I had started performing for Doordarshan and Mumbai Doordarshan, and I was getting very good opportunities, and that's when I got married. And then soon after that, I had my daughter. Then we got to come here because of my husband's job. So, okay, obviously I had to come here, but after that I was not sure what to do, and what is the music scene here, because I had never gone out of India before that. So this was the first time. This was in 1990, and when I started attending concerts, then I realized that no, there is some hope to me, like, because there are music listeners here and they love music and this that. So but it was not very easy. Then my son was also born, plus I was teaching. So, like, morning, evening sessions, in teaching, because it was necessary for me to keep myself busy. And from there, even to get out and get one concert is a big task, because it's like, unless you show an experience, you can't get a job. And unless you have a job, you can't show the experience. Whatever I was doing in Bombay was not good enough. People wouldn't have known that time. So then, even to get first opportunity, people, gave me opportunities. They didn't pay me, or they cut money last minute when I went there for emergency, for their emergency. Please, this person didn't turn up from India. Can you perform? These things have happened. I didn't have any house,
Yeah.
help that time. So it was very tough, and preparing for the concerts. And, I had that जिद, लाइक कि एक कॉन्सर्ट में से मुझे दूसरा कॉन्सर्ट मिलना ही चाहिए, इतना अच्छा होना चाहिए, ये मेरी जिद थी. So, and which happened eventually, yes. But to get there was very tough, and it was my priority. I had told my husband also when we saw each other first time before getting married. So I said, this is my top priority. He said, fine, I will support you as long as you take care of family, children. That is important as well. So if you do that, I will also fulfill my promise. And we did. Both of us, we fulfilled our promise, and children were quite supportive. And it was not easy, but I have learned, best thing is to switch on and switch off. When you are doing something, be into that. Don't think about other things. If I'm at the recording studio and if I'm thinking about my children, it's not right. So switch on, switch off. That is important. Another thing is, you're never going to get time for your practice. So even till today, if I'm doing dishes or cooking, I do my practice sometimes standing near the worktop. Why? In my childhood, all musicians, great musicians, used to come and stay with us, including Ustad Amir Khan Saab, and Bhimsen ji also has come many times. Amir Khan Saab frequently used to come to our house. I have seen him myself. Vasant Rao Deshpande ji, he used to come and stay with us. So for 5 days, 6 days, Jasraj ji used to stay, and because of him, actually, I'm into music, because of his encouragement. But Vasant Rao ji, I remember he was telling Vasant Kaka to my mother once that he used to learn from some Khasa, and he said, we didn't have luxury to sit down and do riyaz. So when I used to fill water for my guru, and that time with 2 kalsis, ghagri. So I used to, while going up and down, I used to practice my tans, and that is stuck in my head. And this is why I give myself challenge while doing bagar, while doing cleaning, while doing, I do my riyaz. Because if I know I'm not going to get a separate time for that, I do that then.
Amazing.
So,
Because Riyaz is so important. I think
is.
that dedication and determination towards art is very important, which I think the young generation needs to know. That along
I would
with
like to say
discipline-
one thing. You're right, absolutely. And I would like to say my thinking is a bit different in Riyaz. I feel there are 2 types of Riyaz: physical Riyaz and mental Riyaz.
Mental.
So unless when you go through physical Riyaz, mentally also you go through those verse Riyaz. And both are important. So, that's why. And when you don't do Riyaz for 2 days, you cut yourself off from that. So this is why it's important to be into music all the time. You should be thinking about music or your own art form, whatever you want to pursue something into.
Very
But
nice.
yeah, unless you decide yourself that this is my priority, it's not going to happen. This is what I would say.
Yeah, so prioritizing is very important. Whoever out there are thinking of taking art as your career, make sure what Swatitai said, you need to prioritize and switch on and switch off. I have learned it from you today, and I'm definitely going to use that in my life. So, coming back to Jasraj ji, as you mentioned while talking, that he's the another reason for your existence in music industry. He encouraged you. So I remember he inaugurated your Ghazal album,
Dhanak album,
Dhanak,
yeah,
which is again one of my most favorite albums of you.
Thank you.
And I would appreciate if you tell how he wanted you to come to Mumbai, and in Dhanak's inauguration, the speech he gave, because he had a very good sense of humor also.
Yeah.
So please,
Yeah.
that will be really lovely.
Basically, once when I was quite young, like 7, 8 years old, that time he came, he performed on my birthday. My mom had organized that concert. That time I was quite young. Then second time he came along with Rohini Tai Bhate, Rohini Moshi. So he came and he also stayed with us. And that time he heard me singing. That time I was 15, 16. And he was like, if he liked something, he would make you sing again and again. That was his, style. So he used to say, "Zara suna to wo Yaman ka beta, zara suna to." And then he said, "Didi, what is she doing here? He should be in Bombay because her career is there." He said, "She sings so well, she should be there." So with us, like we never were pampered because everybody used to sing, and my mom had very different ideas about music and discipline. So she would never pamper us that, "Oh, how well you are singing." No, never. We were told, "What you don't know, think about that." This is how we were raised. So when he said again and again, then I thought there must be some reason. I might be really good, probably. Then I should definitely think about going. So I shifted to Bombay and JJ School of Arts. I took admission for textile designing diploma after doing my BA in Jabalpur. But and then when I finished my studying, and then I started performing for radio, TV, and all that. Once we went for one of his private concert, Pandit Jasraj's, and there I was really shocked because after he finished singing, he said, "Now, Meri Bhanji ko suniye." And I'm thinking, you sang, and on that same stage, you are making me sing. But he was like that, very big hearted, and he gave me lots of blessings. And then when it came to release Dhanak album by Times Music, so we suggested that we'll get Jasraji if he can come. So then we invited him, and he said okay. And when we were there, I sang Rat Tanha, my song from my album. He loved that composition. And then he said to the audience, he said, "I said, whatever I am today, it's because of Mamaji." I used to call him Mamaji. I said, he encouraged me saying, I should be in Bombay. So he said, "इसको मैंने बॉम्बे बोला था जाने के लिए तो लंदन तक चली गई." That is what he said. So he was like that. But he would, those 2 days, I remember whenever I called him, I spoke to him, he would say, "Eh, phone pe, Sara suna to beta wo, Raat Tanha." He loved it. So if he liked something, he would make you to sing.
Brilliant. So what I can say is, Nida Fazli ji, कि अपना गम लेके कहीं और न जाया जाए, घर पे बिखरी हुई चीजों को सजाया जाए, घर में मस्जिद है बहुत दूर चलो यूं कर ले, किसी को रोते हुए बच्चे को हंसाया जाए. So such kind of outstanding writing is Nida Fazli ji. And in Dhanak, you composed one of his ghazal.
Ji.
And there is a very nice story, I believe I can say, because when your mom was coming to visit you, in the night, she was meeting Nidaji's daughter. And she wife.
Actually, before coming here, she said to her that, his wife, Nidaji's wife, used to learn from my mother. So she said, "I'm going there, can you give me nice shairi? She will be surprised." So she said, "Ye taza likhi hai, Nida Saab ne." That was not even recorded by anybody else. That's when my mom brought it.
And then please share the.
And then, in the morning, she reached here in the morning. She was jet lagged, so she slept. And I thought the words were so beautiful that I couldn't stop myself from sitting in my music room and started composing. So I composed, and I thought, this is something, I'm very happy with. Sometimes it's perfect ingredients, like a mixture. So anyway, then I made this part of Dhanak album. And I was also fortunate to have sung this in front of Nidaji when he came in London for his shairi evening. So, I was asked to sing and I sang, and he said so many other people have sung, but Swati ji has done the best justice to my shairi. So
So
coming that from him was something very special, I should say.
undoubtedly. So, Swatita, I think to end this beautiful session and opening up questions for everyone, why don't you sing
Hello.
that same shari for all of us today?
Sure.
Hello. Is this sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know whether I'm on the wrong course or right course. Is this a South Indian cooking? No?
No, we are
No.
cooking music here.
We are cooking music session.
Okay, this is Shagufta. Sorry about this. I've got the wrong
Okay.
Zoom number. Okay,
Okay.
thank you. Bye. Bye.
Okay. So I
Sorry.
would like to tell listeners, basically, viewers, that all my albums, I have actually released many of my own albums. They are all available to buy. If they are interested, they can visit my website www.swatinatikar.net. So there is this first album called Dhanak, then Anjuman, which is very much Mehfil style ghazals, and then one fusion album, Destiny Chakra. I have done live tour also of Destiny Chakra, and the latest one, which is a Thumri album. So that all these albums are available there basically to buy. So if they are interested, they can go on my website and contact me from there. So I will just perform a little bit of Apni Marzi Se, my own
क्या
composition.
बात है?
अपनी मर्जी से कहा अपने सफर के हम हैं। अपनी मर्जी से कहा अपने सफर के हम हैं। रुख हवाओं का जिधर का है उधर के हम हैं। अपनी मर्जी से कहा अपने सफर के हम हैं। पहले हर चीज थी अपनी, मगर अब लगता है पहले हर चीज थी अपनी, मगर अब लगता है अपने ही घर में किसी दूसरे घर के हम हैं। अपने ही घर में किसी दूसरे घर के हम हैं। रुख हवाओं are short of time.
क्या बात है, amazing.
Thank you.
So
We are never short of time hearing these beautiful songs. You
Thank
can
you,
carry
Rashmi
on.
ji.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Really, I'm so glad
Can
you
I
made our
just quickly
Sunday.
then completely second?
Yeah.
yeah,
Please.
please.
Because I stopped, I thought I was under.
No, just go on.
Because the lyrics are very beautiful. That's why.
Yeah.
वक्त के साथ है मिटे का सफर सदियों से वक्त के साथ है मिटे का सफर सदियों से किसको मालूम कहाँ के किधर के हैं। किसको मालूम कहाँ के किधर के हम हैं। रुख हवाओं का जिधर का है उधर के हम हैं। अपनी मर्जी से कहाँ पर सफर के हम हैं।
क्या बात है, अप्रतिम.
Thank you.
Amazing. So now we are opening for questions. If anyone have any questions to ask Swatitai, please.
Questions or small farmaishes, just
Yeah,
two
for my
lines,
also,
one
yes,
line.
definitely.
Actually, someone had actually requested earlier, I saw, my bhajan Badrare Tujal Bhari Laya.
Please.
So I'll just sing 2 lines of that.
Yeah, sure.
What's that? बदरा रे भूजल भरी लायो बदरा रे भूजल भरी लायो छोटी छोटी बूंदन बरसन लागी छोटी छोटी बूंदन बरसन लागी कोयल शब्द सुनायो बदरा रे भूजल भरी लायो बदरा रे भूजल भरी लायो गाजे बाजे पवन मधुरिया गाजे बाजे पवन This is my composition of Meera Bhajan from my album Anurag.
Rashmi, you have any question? Anyone has any question to ask to Swati Tai regarding her career, her journey, her songs?
Amazing journey. I'm really very thankful that I could hear such lovely songs and beautiful singing compositions. Thank you so much, Swati Tai, for being
Thank
part
you.
of our show. And we will have you again and again. I really want to request, because I'm getting messages that can we have her again on the show? So
Oh,
I will let you know very soon.
Zara.
Anybody else? Otherwise, we can
I saw
wind.
Jankana ji requested, I think, for
Okay.
can you see in chats? I saw briefly folk something, she said.
Okay.
Bansivara.
Bansivara, yeah, okay. This is my mother's composition. Bansivara. This is in Rajasthani Mand. Bansivara, aaja hamare desh, taare saveri surat walon desh re, taare saveri surat walon desh. Aao aao kare gaya savra, kare gaya savra, re gaya kal anek, गिनता गिनता घस गए मारे, गिनता गिनता घस गए मारे, आंगरिया के रेख रे, थारे सांवरे सूरत वालों देश रे, थारे सांवरे सूरत वालों देश.
क्या बात है.
I think Vibhuti Shah had asked for Badra Re, right? So I have sung that.
Yes. Amazing. Thank you so much,
Thank
Swati.
you.
It was really pleasure interviewing you. Thank you, Rashmi, for this. And I think those
Thank you
who
for having me. And those, yeah.
It
those
is
who have missed it, the recording will be available on Facebook. So all of you
yes.
can watch.
Also on YouTube tomorrow, and on Inspiring Indian Women channel. Also, ladies and gentlemen, we have started a series of very influential and famous artists like Swati Tai herself, and it'll be interviewed by our own very own Ashwini Kalsekar. So the next in the series is Srimati Sujata Banerjee. She will be interviewed by Ashwini on the 11th of September. So we will be announcing very soon several other artists in the coming days who will be interviewed, sharing their inspiring journey and stories. And another purpose is to see that our culture and tradition are always made more popular and stands out in the Western world. Thank you very much, everyone, all those who joined us. Keep in touch with Inspiring Indian Women. Thank you very much. Namaste to everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.